Hi there. Okay, here we are.
Hi, how are
So
you?
nice to see you today, Massey. I want to congratulate you for taking this step to learn all about how you can further assist the people that you're supporting at home to ensure that they have a clear understanding and to make what can be in transitional and stressful time the most empowering that it can be. So I really want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you for your time.
Such a pleasure. We talked about reverse mortgages a little bit in the media over the last couple of weeks. We talked about it on Vancouver Consumer, and also we've seen them in the news because right now we've never had more options for reverse mortgages, and also rates are at an all-time low recorded for the length of time of us having reverse mortgages here in Canada. So it is exciting to be able to see Canadians being empowered with more options, and of course leaders such as yourself stepping up and wanting to ensure that the people that you help have all the information so they can make the best decisions for their family and their legacy.
Yes, for sure.
Alongside me here, I'm very fortunate to have my associates, Julie, Dave, and John, that have been alongside me for many years. And fortunately, John has been along on this journey with me for over 15 years as well. So our little family here is very happy. So I'll just say that, you know, as we mature, different life stages come upon us. And for every stage of our life, we have a mortgage for that. The mortgage that we get in our 20s is very different than the one that we may get in our 50s, 60s, or 70s. And so understanding which ones are the best options for your life stage really helps you make very clear decisions. Now, there are two major reverse mortgage lenders in Canada, and the new kid on the block came into the market about 2 years ago. And since then, they have been able to bring interest rates down. They've been able to increase the terms, increase protection, and provide better options. But reverse mortgages have been available for 33 years now, and there's been significant enhancements. So we have written an article on reverse mortgages, which we can take some people to. What is a reverse mortgage and the COVID-19 benefits that are associated with it. And, you know, one of the challenges of going through COVID-19 is that seniors are faced with a liquidity crunch as well as everyone else. And the 55 plus community deserves a solution that protects the fruits of their labor. And this demographic needs cash flow to live on, and CPP and OAS was never enough to begin with. And with the reduction of their nest eggs, it makes the problem worse because they are scared and have few options, and they watch their family members lose their jobs or try to get by on reduced income and without childcare for their own children. And quite naturally, they want to help, and so they need cash flow more than ever. Also, you and I have seen people wanting to take their parents out of senior care and back into the home if they haven't already, or certainly after seeing what happens in a health pandemic, more than ever, they want to keep people within a home where they have the ability to control what happens a lot more.
Exactly, and they have a time to visit because they cannot visit in the nursing home.
Yes, and there's nothing I think that's more important than us being able to see the ones that we care about most, and we don't want them to be lonely. And so for some of those people that were looking to access their cash flow, collapsing an appreciating asset is never recommended. So you can't go through a home sale during that time. And you certainly don't want to be taking losses on your investment portfolio as a double whammy. So we've seen a lot of people turn to reverse mortgages as a way to assist them with that. So the full article is here, and we fortunately did the segment on Global on it as well. And so that kind of goes through a few of the details as well, clarifying reverse mortgage options where people can go through. And it talks about not only people using it as a source of income in retirement, but they can also use it as a wealth building strategy. And maybe they're in a house that they love right now, but they want to consider buying a downsized home. And so while they're healthy enough to review that and want something maybe closer to the kids, or they still want to keep the house in the family, because we see a lot of people wanting to help their kids move into the family home and the parents downsizing. this is a great option for them. And also if the parents have developed any disabilities or any health concerns, doing a home renovation without having to accumulate outside debt and having to make a payment is also just a really great tool for them. And the biggest thing I think is that it's tax-free, because when they're getting their health benefits already, they're worried about their Medicare, they're worried about their OAS. This ensures that all those things remain in place for them. So it can really help. And also sometimes people are going through divorce during times of difficult health issues as well. And so accessing the money with a reverse mortgage can still allow the spouse who may need some additional care to get that assistance that's required while still trying to maintain as much of the familiarity for the rest of the family as well. So we touched on that a little bit in the news segment, but of course everybody's situation is unique. So we like to customize it for them. And I mean, these stats are no surprise to you. We are, with our demographic shift, we're going through what's referred to as the gray tsunami. Because with 1,000 Canadians turning 65 each and every day, it's predicted that in 10 years, almost a quarter of the population will be seniors.
It's huge.
Yes. So, you know, keeping in mind that 93% of the retired Canadians want to stay in their home. So it's really great to see that we can provide unique solutions so they can.
Exactly.
And, you know, it really comes down to two things. There's two reasons why people consider getting a reverse mortgage, and they either have a want or a need. And the need or the want is to feel good. You know, we want to do what we want to do. We want to use these funds for fun things like home renovations, purchasing a vacation property or travel. Some people want to give family members an inheritance. Gifting children or grandchildren money for education or down payment is common. And also they just want to improve their lifestyle. And, you know, things continue to get expensive. And then, of course, we deal with the needs. And there can be quite a bit of emotion that come along with the needs as well. And, you know, traditionally retirement planning was based on the assumption that the mortgage would be paid off before retirement. But some people, 51% of Canadians, are carrying debt outside of retirement. And so they're scared because they feel like they're going to run out of money in 10 years.
For sure. That is a huge question always. Do I have enough money to retire? Yes, and have a care at home.
Yes. And unfortunately, the reality is that due to factors such as having mortgage payments, increases in the cost of living, unanticipated expenses about retirement savings, we're seeing that retirement savings are lasting less than 10 years now. So another reason for the increase in reverse mortgages is that historically, financial planning was based on a 10-year life expectancy after retirement. But today, a lot of us are living much longer, and now retirement can span on average between 20 and 30 years.
I have more clients than the age of the 90, 100, lots. That's why it makes it harder for family.
Yeah.
Manage the money.
Exactly. And many seniors are feeling extremely stressed about their financial future. And what's not helping matters is that the government changes to mortgage rules have had a huge impact on seniors' ability to access financing.
That's a huge help.
It is. And in the past, lines of credit and equity type mortgages have been commonly utilized by seniors, but the bank straight equity products are a thing of the past. And now with the stress test, it's even more challenging to qualify for traditional mortgages and lines of credit. And so the reality is that even if the client can qualify, making a mortgage payment or even an interest-only payment is not an affordable or sustainable long-term solution. And so there's generally two types of reverse mortgages that are out there. There's a standard reverse mortgage, which is paid in a lump sum initial advance, and the client can either choose to take the full approved amount up front, or they can take part of it initially and have access to the remaining funds or subsequent advances later on if needed without having to go through everything again.
Oh.
And the second type of reverse mortgage product is on a scheduled monthly advance. So the mortgage amount the client qualifies for is registered, and a minimum required initial advance is dispersed, and then a scheduled monthly income draw post-funding.
That's great.
Yeah, so you can really customize your solution. And you know what I've seen demonstrated to be the most successful for people is when they get the maximum that they can get approved for, and then they put it in a very safe 100% secure interest bearing account to keep up with inflation. So they're not only getting their monthly advance, but they're also making money on the money. So as inflation goes up, they're protecting themselves an additional way.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've seen the people who have been most successful have done that, because then they can draw that at any time. They're making money as well, a little bit on it to keep up with inflation. And in terms of the mortgage amount, there's often some confusion on what the client can be approved for. And, you know, it's true that lenders can go up to 65% loan to value, but the reality is most come in much lower, because they come in at about 55% loan to value, because there's no payments required. And the interest accrues over time, and the lenders need to ensure that there's always plenty of equity remaining in the property, and also to take care of the property taxes, which if you've been deferring property taxes, they'll pay that out with the initial lump sum, and then you could continue to defer after that as well.
Oh.
Which is a significant question that we get from a lot of people.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. And reverse mortgages usually have a penalty when they're paid off, but in the event that the home is sold due to the borrower moving to a residential care, the penalty is reduced by 50%. And in situations where the last remaining titled borrower passes away, the penalty is completely waived.
Really?
Zero
Wow.
penalty. Yes. And in this situation, the lender generally gives 180 days for the sale of the property.
Yes.
So this is really important when we talk about spousal protection, because as we get older and our spouses are going through different health issues, our biggest concern is trying to take care of them the best way that we can, and them not having to go through stressful situations. And so this offers some spousal protection. I had a call in my office the other day, and a client had a traditional mortgage with the bank, and her husband passed away. And she told the bank, and they froze the line of credit so they couldn't access their line of credit, and told her she had to requalify for the mortgage.
Oh my God.
And it was just not a pretty scene at all. And so reverse mortgages generally deal with people who are more mature and at that age bracket. So they do everything they can to make those transitions the best they can be for your family.
No, just lots of my client, one of my clients really, because he was a smoker, and none of the nursing home accept them to go there, and none of the place. He have to stay home. That is helped them big time. And I'm so grateful for that one. Otherwise he have to sleep in the street.
Oh my God.
The house and no money. He couldn't do anything at home.
That is so scary.
Yes, that's why I love this program.
Yeah, it really helps a lot of people. And so, you know, reverse mortgages have the unique benefits that address the biggest concerns that seniors have. You know, they offer spousal protection, meaning that if one spouse passes away, the mortgage stays the same for the remaining spouse. Making sure their spouse is financially protected after they pass away is the highest priority for most senior couples. And traditional mortgages and lines of credit need to be requalified for when one spouse passes away. Losing a partner is hard enough without having to deal with mortgage financing at the same time. And the reverse mortgages are what's called a lifetime approval. This means once the mortgage is in place, it stays in place until the home is sold. There's never any requalification. And, you know, unfortunately, that's not the case, as we had talked about with other mortgages and lines of credit, where the reviews at maturity and requalification can occur. So when you kind of go through the advantage, I feel that the most under-recognized advantage of a reverse mortgage is that the funds are tax-free. And it's a very big deal for seniors, because unlike investment income, reverse mortgages are not reported income to the CRA. Therefore, income derived from a reverse mortgage does not negatively impact the benefits that seniors rely on, such as guaranteed income supplement, disability benefits, or government pharmacare benefits. So that's massive for me.
Amazing. Yes.
Massive, massive. And taking this tax-free advantage even one step further, When seniors need additional income on top of their pension income, it usually is a withdrawal from their RSPs or RIF. And the tax rates on registered investment withdrawals are significant. The tax rate is 10% on withdrawal amounts up to $5,000, while the rate for more than $5,000 is 20%. And once the withdrawal amount goes over $15,000, the tax rate jumps to 30%.
Okay.
So another thing to keep in mind is that RSP and WIF withdrawals are added to the gross earned income. So depending on the size of the withdrawal, it can push someone into a higher tax bracket that can result in additional taxation. And finally, by withdrawing from the investments, there's a loss of interest earned on that money for the future. So when taking taxation and the loss of interest that an investment could generate into account, a reverse mortgage at around 5% is a much less expensive option for generating tax-free income. Yeah, so another benefit of using the reverse mortgage is that it can extend the life of an investment portfolio, because remember, statistically, Canadians will run out of their savings in 10 years.
Yes, exactly.
So activation of a reverse mortgage early in retirement helps the investment portfolio stay intact longer and helping reversed retirement savings to last longer. So a lot of financial planners recognize the advantages of activating home equity in retirement planning, but many still have the perception that reverse mortgages are too expensive, or that having a mortgage in retirement is always a negative thing. But thankfully, these products have changed significantly and have the tax recognition that they do to not be reported as income from the CRA. So whenever I find people say something negative about reverse mortgages, it's because they don't know about them. And we've been spending time educating lawyers and educating accountants on it. And it's amazing because a lot of us would go to them for tax advice, but a lot of them don't know how a reverse mortgage can actually help them. So, you know, we're hoping to get this message out to more people. And again, I can't commend you enough for caring to be a leader in information for your clients.
No, just because they really need them. They want to stay home and just they need enough money to stay as long as they want.
They do. And they don't want to be a burden. And, you know, sadly, I've seen more and more examples of predatory lending practices affecting seniors. And there are companies specifically target marketing to them. So, you know, people will do anything for $1 these days. There's retired reporters that are being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to be on commercials saying, hey, it's easy to access your equity. And what the problem is, unfortunately, with marketing and advertising is that they only advertise the benefit. So they see someone who's retired that was a reporter at one point in their life, and they say, oh, this older gentleman knows that how I can access money. I trust him. I used to see them on the news, or I used to, you know, I know who this person is. It sounds easy. I'll go and get my money from them. But what they don't tell you is that their interest rates are double or triple than what they could qualify for. And they don't tell you that they have fees that eat into your equity unnecessarily. And they have the right to continue to charge those fees throughout the duration of you needing to access your capital, because they're advertising them, and it's borrower beware. And seniors are very private. They don't necessarily want people to know, so they hope they can just go for something that they trust and that's the best option for them. But as an accredited mortgage professional, we're unbiased. So whatever the best option is for them, we protect them. And we've seen a lot of seniors that wish they knew better and wish they didn't fall for the marketing campaigns that were out there that were targeted to them.
Because I know, because you have a parents, the senior, you understand better than anybody what's going on and how much they need the help, and you know how it's important. Yeah. And family, they want to have a good information to make it a good decision regarding the parents.
And I've seen firsthand where seniors have accepted this private financing because they've been declined by their bank and they think that's their only option. And I've also seen a few circumstances where, due to lack of awareness and knowledge about reverse mortgages, even mortgage brokers have placed seniors into a private mortgage, where a reverse mortgage would have been a far better solution to protect their equity, save them money, and offer spousal protection. So developing reverse mortgage expertise is a way to really help people. But more importantly, as an industry professional, I think we have an obligation to educate ourselves and be effective effective advocates for Canadian seniors, for everything they've done for our country. And on a final note, that is really the basis of how we look to help educate people and help them make decisions that are really going to benefit them and their families. And we all know that, it's a result of who you know and who you're influenced by. So that's why we're really passionate on, collaborating with you and helping the people that you serve, and also trying to educate accountants and lawyers as well, because oftentimes, people will go in and they'll do something with their will, and this could have been something that even a lawyer or an accountant could have suggested, especially an accountant who's doing taxes can see
exactly
someone struggling, but they just don't have that ability to know. So.
Exactly, just more, you can help people more. That's
and our service is free. And our service is free. And I must say that a lot of people that are influencing people who are paying for expertise don't even have the expertise that we have to help people, empower them with these decisions. So I really commend you for stepping up as a leader to learn about it.
Thank you so much. And I love to just share with all our clients and just let them know what is available for them. And not worried to go just looking around and they said, I cannot have anything for my service for my dad because my dad cannot pay. But they're sitting in the 2 million house, but they don't know how to can just, have a service available for them and stay at home and safe and happy.
Exactly. With no payments, no stress, spousal protection, and no impact on their current financial benefits that they're receiving.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your time and knowledge with our senior and your family. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have the best day, sweetheart. And remember, we're always here to help.
Thank you, and have an amazing day.
Thank you, sweetie. Take care.